Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we unwrap the hidden stories within company filings. Today, we're diving into a rather interesting, shall we say, capital raise from New Mountain Guardian IV BDC L.L.C. Make sure you are subscribed. And don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description below for even more exclusive content and discussions. Alright, so we're looking at a filing from New Mountain Guardian IV BDC LLC, a company that seems to be in the business of, well, managing money and making it grow, which is what most companies are trying to do. This report is telling us about a recent event where they decided to bring in some more cash from their investors. What is really going on here is that on the 15th of December 2025, New Mountain Guardian IV BDC LLC, which we'll call the company for short, sent out a notice. Think of it like them saying, hey investors, we need more money and it is time for you to contribute based on what you promised. Specifically, they are selling just over 12 million units called units to their investors for a total of nearly $121 million. That works out to a nice round $10 per unit. Now, the important part here is that this is not happening on a big public stock market. It is a private transaction directly with their investors. This means the deal was already arranged or is being arranged through contracts called subscription agreements. Basically, these investors had already agreed to put in a certain amount of money into the company, and this is them fulfilling that promise. The company will give them at least 10 business days notice before they need to hand over the cash. This whole thing is expected to wrap up by the 30th of December 2025. Now, why isn't this on the big stock market? The filing explains that this sale is exempt from the usual rules that require companies to register their stock with the government before selling it to the public. This often happens when companies are raising money from a select group of investors who are usually sophisticated and can assess the risks themselves. It is a common way for private companies, or in this case, a business development company, to get funding without the big hassle of a public offering. This exemption is under a part of the law called Section 4, a 2 and a set of rules called Regulation D. One thing to note about the company itself is that it is identified as an emerging growth company. This means it is a relatively young company that gets to follow some less strict reporting requirements. They also have the option to delay adopting new accounting standards, which they have not opted out of here, meaning they are using the extended transition period. Now, typically in these filings, you expect a lot of detailed financial statements. However, this particular report is quite focused. It is mainly informing the public about this capital raise. The other sections are mostly standard housekeeping stuff, like confirming who is signing the report and listing exhibits. The only exhibit listed is something called a cover page interactive data file. This is essentially a digital file that contains the basic information from the cover page of the report in a format that computers can read and process easily. It helps make the information more accessible for analysis. The report is dated the 17th of December 2025. This is a couple of days after the capital drawdown notice was issued, which makes sense as they need time to officially record and report these events. The signature of Eric Kane as Corporate Secretary confirms that this report has been properly authorized by the company. Now, to wrap things up, New Mountain Guardian IV BDC LLC is essentially securing a significant chunk of new capital through a private placement. They are raising about $121 million by selling units at $10 each to their existing investors. This is a clear indication that the company is looking to expand its operations or fund new investments. The fact that it is a private placement exempt from public registration means they are likely dealing with accredited investors who understand the risks. For us watching, this tells us that New Mountain Guardian IV BDC is active in its fundraising efforts and is growing. While this filing doesn't give us a deep dive into their current financial performance like a quarterly earnings report would, it signals a strong belief from their investors in the company's future prospects, enough for them to commit to a substantial capital infusion. We don't have specific financial tables to analyze here for performance trends, but the willingness of investors to put in this much money is a positive sign. No major risks are explicitly detailed in this particular filing beyond the nature of private investments themselves, which generally carry more risk than publicly traded securities due to less transparency and liquidity. However, the company is choosing to operate under the radar for this funding round, which is a strategic choice to maintain flexibility. Alright, that is our breakdown of this New Mountain Guardian IV BDC filing. What is your take on this capital raise and what it might mean for the company's direction? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis helpful, please hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more decoded corporate insights. And as always, check out the Discord link in the description to join the conversation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.